right, day 459. Happy New Year, everybody. This is going to be good. Let's keep consistent with our habits. Today, we're looking at properties in the Birmingham, Alabama area. And what we're doing is we're adding to our comparable sales list of properties that are coming onto the market. Now, why are we doing this, right? The reason we're doing this is because we're looking at properties and keeping track of what they're coming onto the market for on a dollar per square foot perspective. And in some cases, some properties are a lot bigger than some of the other properties here. So right here, we're looking at 901 6th Street Southwest, Birmingham, Alabama, 35211. This is right in between Arlington West End and North Titusville. Arlington West End between Arlington Northwest and North Titus. West End. West. And this property, if you look at the property here, where did it just go? Right here. This property looks like it's in decent condition, right? You look at the home, it's got mostly hardwood floors. Let's see what else it got. Kitchen is solid. Floors look okay. I don't know why some of the floors are not working. Let's see if this refreshes. Right after I get these details. 1920 was the year built, 1920. This property is being listed for 225 grand, 225,000. So the dollar per square foot perspective, this property is being listed for $98 a foot. Listed. When was it listed? It's coming soon. 7 days ago, but coming soon. So 1224. Coming soon. And the lot size on this property is 5662 square feet. And the reason I'm getting down all these details here about the home is because, well, why? We want to understand on a comparable property perspective. If I find a 3-bed home, 2,000 square feet, and I want to convert a bedroom and make it a 4-bedroom, I would want to understand what is a 4-bedroom worth in this neighborhood, particularly between Arlington West End and North Titusville. Now, the reason we're doing this is because of the BRRRR strategy, right? BRRRR strategy stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. And these type of properties are the ones that are what you want to look for comparable properties. Now, what is a comparable property? What is the perfect comp, right? The perfect comp would probably be, hey, if I bought this home and had the same square footage, same lot size, and it's right next to this home, even though this is technically on a corner lot, that would be my ideal comp. But that's never the case, right? As you go to different neighborhoods, across different areas, whether you're going across this park, whether you're going across creeks, highways, etc., the risk of your comp being wrong or inaccurate goes up higher, right? So when you get an appraisal and you don't agree with that appraisal's value, what are you going to do to challenge that appraisal? You got to provide comps. And the reason why we're doing this is because if you use the BRRRR strategy, let's say take an example, you buy a property for 20 grand and you renovate it for $50,000. So now you're all in at 70 grand. If you're able to make that home worth make it worth $100,000, now all of a sudden you just create $30,000 of equity. And then you can go get a debt service coverage ratio loan, a DSCR loan, take back out 70% of that home's value in the form of loan proceeds. You get back your $70,000 that you originally invested. And now you can take that 70 grand and reinvest it into something else. That's what allows you to rinse and repeat using the same pile of cash, so to speak. And that's why it's much more scalable versus the conventional norm, which is you save up from your full-time job, you put 20% down, and you hope and pray that you can cash flow on that deal. And then from that perspective, then you go on and you continue investing again. And that's a really, really slow process. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to look at this deal right here. And we're going to underwrite this deal because now that I've captured some details there, I'm going to write above average kitchen and bathrooms. Right? Let's look at the photos here. Same floors in the bathroom. Yeah, the bathroom looks great actually. So above average bathrooms, rent ready. Rent ready. probably just need painting, no floor work needed. Great. So now I know and understand exactly how much rehab I need to do on this property. So when I go to underwrite this property now, let's start a new property here. Let's put in the new details here. So this property is 225 grand. Let's go to the rehab calculator, and we're gonna go in and put in 1,500 bucks for the roof, just in case there's any patching that needs in row 6. I set aside 500 bucks for the landscaping, just to keep things tidy before it's run ready. And for the paint, even if I had to do an entire paint job for the entire square footage, 2294 at $3 a square foot, that's what it'll get me to. And I'll probably replace 2 of the toilets with high pressure flush toilets in row 132. And that allows me to have a total rehab. I'm gonna zero these out because this is not applicable, for 11 grand, 11.7K. I'm going to delete this plus $10,000 because that was for a scenario we were looking at yesterday. And now I have my numbers. So the next thing I need to do is I need to find out how much can I rent this property for. If I go to affordablehousing.com and I go to the market rent estimator under the owner section, I can plug in the address, plug in the bedroom count, and I can see that the average rent for 21 units within a 1.6 mile radius is $13.12. So I'll put $13.12 right here. For my expenses, I'm gonna get to my taxes and my insurance right from my payment calculator. Obviously, for your property taxes, you should check with your county assessor records to confirm what you actually pay for property taxes. And right here, it says 174 home insurance. That's pretty high, but I'm gonna multiply that by 1.2 anyways because I'm adding a 20% premium because insurance companies will view your asset as riskier if you're using it as an investment property. So that will come out to about $209. Then I'm setting aside 10% of my rent every single month for maintenance and future repairs because we all know that roof is going to get replaced. So you never want to be that person where you underestimate your expenses because you overestimate your repairs. Your profitability. You overestimate your profitability because you underestimate expenses. You know at some point you're going to replace that roof. So set aside that money every single month, or you're going to think you made all this extra money when you really did not. I'm setting aside 10% for property management, 5% for my vacancy expenses. For my down payment, I have 25% down right here. So my down payment is going to be equals to my B4, my asking price, times my down payment percentage in F19. So I'll be putting down 56 grand. As a result, I'm going to be financing $168,000, and that's a result of taking my asking price in B4 minus my down payment in E19. Now I put 7.5% interest rate right here. That's going to get me to a total return of negative $454 a month. If I rent it as a 4-bedroom for $13.12, I'd be negative $455 of cash flow a month. That's a negative 7.4% return on my capital if I bought this property for 225 grand. And that makes sense because I've been looking at properties in this area where I pretty much know properties that are above 200 grand, they never pencil out for deals here because of the rents in the area. And that's even with a 7.5% interest rate. So if I were to say, hey, let me lower the mortgage interest rates, right, to 6%. And if you follow what's been happening in the market, if you go to Finance Yahoo, this is what I go really fast to check, and you follow the 10-year treasury yield, this is what drives the 30-year mortgage interest rates. And that's the reason we're tracking properties that are coming onto the market, because as interest rates go up and down, it's affected by two things. One is the actual interest rates of the 10-year yield for the treasury yield. And we've seen it go from 3.3-ish to almost 5 points in the last 52 weeks. Huge swings, right? But also, you have to understand that you have to figure out whether or not you're going to get a favorable interest rate. And that's also driven by the spread. Historically, the spread between a 10-year yield and the 30-year mortgage rate has been between 1.5% to 2%. It's gone as high as 3%. So that's why now you see mortgage rates shooting up, but not as high as it previously was, at around 8%, because that spread has narrowed. Okay. So that's why we're tracking these prices of homes coming on the market, because if you're looking for the BRRRR strategy and you're trying to refinance in 3 to 6 months, you better understand what's happening in the market, because homes might be getting sold for prices that are below what you estimate because of what has happened to interest rates in the last 3 months, going from 3.6 in the middle of September and October to 4.6 now. Huge swing, right? So if I lower my interest rate to 6%, right, that takes down my cash on cash return to negative 4.67. So negative 4.7, and now instead of negative 455, I'm negative 286, right? 287. That's almost a $200 difference, right? Assuming everything else stays constant. So now 25%, now 6% interest rate, 22500. So if let's say my target return was 10%, and I'm not saying 10% is a magical number. This is not investment advice. I'm simply showing you all the work I do every single day to change the input so that you can take emotions out of the deal and figure out how to actually do this, analyze deals objectively. So in order for you to reach a 10%, watch what happens when I lower my asking price from 225 to 100 grand. Now I'm at 8.4. How about 80 grand? That's much higher. How about 90 grand? How about 95? So at 93, I can achieve a 10% return. Does that mean I can get the property for 93 grand when it was listed for 225? Probably not, right? But now you've messed with the details, so now you actually figure out, hey, at this price, I can cash with 307, right? That allows me to figure out, does this work? Okay. And this is a 9.9% cash on cash return. Again, everybody's strategy is different, right? Some folks might just want to buy $1 million of property and break even in cash flow. And that's it. They don't care about $300 a month because they might be making 5% on $1 million property every single year. Now that's really risky, right? You're speculating that's going to appreciate. Very, very risky. But to each their own, right? Everybody has their own strategy. Everybody has their own reason for why they diversify their portfolio a certain way. And that's why you have to talk to your own investment professional to figure out what's going on. All we're doing today is figuring out how to tactically update the numbers so that, let's say your rehab double, what does that do? Let's say your interest rates drop, what does that do? Let's say your purchase price drops, what does that do? And that's how you fluctuate all these different factors to figure out, hey, what do I need to do to figure out whether that's a deal for me? And learning the exercise, the skill of underwriting and updating all these numbers, that's when you need to be successful. All right. On top of having a great team, because look, you got to justify your execution risk. What's execution risk? What are the chances of your contractor showing up on time, doing what he or she said they were going to do? That's execution risk. What's the risk of your inspection getting delayed? Right? That adds to your holding costs. All these things factor. All these factors matter tremendously. So you got to keep all these factors in mind. So hopefully this was helpful, everybody. I really hope you are underwriting your deals every single day with me. Go live with me every single day. My hope is that you copy my homework, analyze the same deal I analyzed today using the same spreadsheet. You can get the same spreadsheet from affordablehousing.io, not .com. Go to the Get Deal Analysis tool, plug in your name, email, your phone number. That's the fastest way to get a copy of the spreadsheet. I didn't make this from scratch. I got it from a few other folks. I modified it, tweaked it so that I can analyze these deals as fast as possible. That's it. All right. Have an amazing new year, everybody. Get these habits up. Get these habits up and running and stay consistent with me. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 460. 460. Have a good one, everybody. Happy New Year. Spend some quality time with your family and friends today because that's what life is all about. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.